You are listening to the Bandwagoners, news and notes from around the NHL.
Hey, you've got the Bandwagoners. My name is Andy Cole.
And my name is Justin Boniface. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How's your Thanksgiving?
Going pretty good so far. Got another big meal tonight, so I'm stoked.
Excellent. Yeah, you got round 1 of 2 out of the way. My dinner's tonight, so I'm looking forward to like 5 weeks of leftovers. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's been another good week of hockey. Obviously, we ended our last show. It was a one of 2 parts. We talked about the Eastern Conference and all the teams going on over there. Now we got the Western Conference going on. So yeah, let's get right into it. First place overall so far, off to a terrific start, much like they were last year.
Stoked on this.
Yeah, 5-0-0. We got the San Jose Sharks. They are absolutely on a tear right now.
I see. You're starting in the Pacific. Okay, I was saying I'm stoked on Colorado, who's 5-0-0, but that's the top of the Central. So yeah, San Jose doing incredibly well, but you are right. That is pretty standard for them. We don't really get a lot of surprises out of a San Jose regular season, as you and I have elaborated on many times. So we know they're going to make the playoffs, especially, the only other rival team I see in this division right now is Vancouver and LA, really.
Yeah, no, I mean, San Jose has historically always had really strong starts, and obviously they've been that sort of consummate choke team. Like, they do really well in the season, they go deep into the playoffs, and just nothing comes of it. They've never won a cup. Maybe this year is the year. Maybe this is the first time where we could actually say they are a cup contender. I am leaning in that direction, and I'll tell you why. San Jose, for the first time ever, has an incredibly balanced attack across all 3 of their top 3 lines. Like, their top 9 is just terrific. And the reason I like this is because they have, 3 layers of age groups in there. They got Thornton and Marleau tearing it up right now. Then you got the mid-range guys, Couture and Pavelski. Couture isn't really even in his prime yet, but we're already including him in the mid-range category. And then he
does have 7 points in 5 games, so he is heating up, especially because his first 2 games were a little slow.
Yeah.
But expect him to have a major career-breaking season.
Absolutely. This will be a big year for Couture for sure. Pavelski's just steady Eddie back there. He's really underappreciated, I think, by a lot of people. And then you got Teenage Mutant Ninja Hertl, the super rookie out of San Jose, one of the most electric players to come into the NHL since Alexander Ovechkin, and he's absolutely tearing it up. This kid is outstanding.
7 goals in 5 games.
Unbelievable. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No, not since almost, I want to say Solani, but even he's not at that pace yet. But 8 points total, so obviously it's all about the goal scoring for this kid. If you didn't get to see his 4-goal game, it was unreal. Scores a hat trick, and then for his 4th goal, just does a between the legs a la Marek Malik from the first year of the shootout.
Oh, beauty.
But in play with defenders chasing him, just dirty goal.
It was unreal. I think what's even more impressive about that 4-goal performance is this comes in 11 minutes of ice time. He scores 4 goals in 11 minutes of ice time. Just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I don't understand how people were ragging on the kid. They were saying he shouldn't have been showboating at his age. A lot of the more, conservative hockey purists find a goal like that a little bit offensive, and I just don't understand that, because to me it's entertainment. At the end of the day, hockey at a professional level is about entertaining the fans, and that was entertaining. So how some people could jump on the Hertl shouldn't have done that bandwagon is beyond me, because I thought that was a beautiful goal.
Well, who was it against? It was the Avalanche or something like that? No, the Avalanche are undefeated. Anaheim, maybe? And in any case...
I believe it was New York, I believe, because I think it was Del Zotto which got really upset by that happening to him. He was really upset with that. So it's not even
in the same division, and that was a lot of arguments that I was hearing in the media, was that, all you're doing is angering the other team, angering the other bench, getting people pumped up to play against you, wanting to shut you up and all that kind of stuff. And that I can see that point of view coming from, you don't want to hurt your team, but it's not even a divisional rival. You're going to see New York maybe once again in the season. Mm-hmm. So there's no even real consequences there, and I agree with you completely. It's an entertaining move, and it takes a lot of skill to pull something like that off, especially with some of the best defensemen in the game hunting you down during the play.
Well, he just made Del Zotto look foolish.
New York, that means he scored it against Hendrik Lundqvist as well.
Yeah.
So just props to the kid for being able to pull something like that off.
Well, he made him look foolish, this veteran NHL defenseman. And to make matters worse, I think they were already up 7-2 at that point. So they had a substantial...
It was 6-0.
Yeah, it was just a blowout at that point. They had a substantial lead, and some guys were like, do you really want to be doing that move after that much, of a lead? You gotta be a little, better of a sport in that sense, but I don't agree with that at all. I think it was a great move, and I'm glad he did it, and in my opinion, the NHL needs more of that. So yes.
I'd love to see more of it. I can see, and the other thing is you don't want to pull that move when you're up 3-2 or when it's tied 3-3 because that's a risky move. It's not just to put a point on the board. That is something that can get you in a lot of trouble if you were down by a goal and you decide to do that instead of set up a one-timer. So there are lots of arguments to be made, but I believe the setting was right for that move. Yeah, and he's a young kid. He's just going to do that. I mean, we remember Yakupov doing the crazy celebration, and we've seen PK Subban do that. And these guys just get a lot of energy and momentum. And when you're already pumped from scoring a hat trick in a game and you're 19 years old, go ahead, make some crazy stuff because you're probably not going to be able to get that opportunity very many times again.
Yeah, it might have been a different way of thinking had he have missed and not scored there, right? Some people then might have said, well, was that really the move to pull? But, I mean, you already are up by that much of a lead. Why not? Give the fans something to talk about. And I think this kid is just awesome. It's hilarious having people interview him because he doesn't speak a lick of English yet, eh? So it's like he gets interviewed and it's like you're interviewing a dog. He just has absolutely no idea what you're talking about. He just looks at you, sort of blinks his eyes, and sort of says random comments like, yeah, me had fun, good goal, good game. Not at all in relation to the question, but it's very entertaining. And I'm really excited for this kid. I think he's going to have a good year. I hope this wasn't just an anomaly. I hope he can continue on with it. As much as I, as a Canucks fan, hate San Jose, I hope for the NHL's sake that this kid keeps tearing it because he's just one of the most exciting rookies we've had in years. And how about that Thornton comment, eh?
I didn't hear that.
Okay, well, we're not on air, so I guess I could not bleep it out. This is offensive language for people that are listening, but pretty much what happened is a lot of people got mad at Vancouver reporter Jason Botchford for reporting this because they felt there's this unwritten code in the locker room that when people say stuff off the cuff in the background in the locker room, you're not really supposed to be reporting or recording it just because 99% of it is inappropriate to be aired, right? Well, Botchford did air it, and what pretty much he said is he was asking Patrick Marleau what he thought of the Hertl between the legs goal and if he thought it was appropriate. And before Marleau could even answer, Thornton chimed in the background and pretty much told sorry, it wasn't Botchford that was asking the question. It was the TSN reporter. His name's escaping me at the moment, but it was a TSN reporter asking the question, and Botchford was just sort of recording it. And before he could get his answer out, Thornton in the background told him to shut up. He said, "Shut up, do you even play the game of hockey?" I'm paraphrasing, but he said, "Shut up, do you even play hockey?" And then he went on to say, "If I scored 4 goals, my cock would be out. My cock would be out, and I'd be stroking it." And that's actually what he said. He actually said those words. That's not me paraphrasing there. He said,
"That's fantastic."
Yeah, he said, "My cock would be out, and I'd be stroking it if I scored 4 goals." And this was sort of off the cuff in the background. It made everybody laugh. But Botchford reported it, and it went into his Vancouver Province newspaper article. The actual line appeared there. And it was one of the best quotes of the year so far. People had a blast with it. It was hilarious. But a lot of people got mad at Botchford because is that the kind of thing you should really be reporting? It's a pretty crass comment,
Yeah, that seems more like something you might throw on your Twitter account. Something it definitely needs to be shared. I think it's good to know the camaraderie in the dressing room, and Thornton's a leader in that room, and you got to make your guys laugh, and you gotta let them shrug it off because there was a lot of heat coming from the media towards Hertl and stuff like that too, right? So you gotta make light of the situation. So I think Thornton's comment is totally appropriate. I think Botchford may have used the wrong media source to let it out, but at the same time, it gets people reading that newspaper. People now know Jason Botchford, who probably didn't know him prior. I know he, guest shows up on TSN every once in a while. But,
do you find the comment
probably don't know who he is? So,
do you find the comment is too dirty to be aired, or do you think he was right in? Because, it's pretty crass. It's not the kind of thing you normally read in a Sunday newspaper.
That's the kind of thing that I'm saying. The outlet of media may not have been the best choice. It's, it's what we say, any publicity is good publicity. But I like that the comment is out there. I think that it would have been better on a social media website like Twitter or something like that. But I like that the comment is known by the public and that it's known in the hockey world. I think it's hilarious. And I think Joe Thornton's exactly right. How many times do you get to score 4 goals in a game. It doesn't happen, let alone when you're 19 years old. So Joe Thornton's saying the same thing. When he's 40 years old, he had a 4-goal game, he'd still be that stoked. So,
yeah, and
that's pretty stoked.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever want to see Thornton score four goals after that comment. I think,
exactly.
Yeah, that would be pretty. You'll
get his coach benching him after the hat trick.
Yeah, you're not allowed on the ice. You're not allowed on the ice. Where are your pants, Thornton? Where are your pants? Don't worry, coach. I got this. Yeah, no, I'm going to defend Botchford here as well. Being a local boy, obviously he's a Vancouver beat writer. In his defense, normally those kind of comments are in the background while guys are talking, and obviously at that point you're not really recording. But when Thornton piped up and said those comments, he actually waited for all of the cameras to turn to him with their recorders on him, and then he kept going with the quotes. So, I mean, I think Thornton kind of had an idea that it was probably going to be on the record, so, I mean, that's a bit of a defense as well. But yeah, we spent way too much time on those stupid San Jose Sharks. I don't want to talk about them anymore. This is just depressing me. But yeah, San Jose's first in the West right now. Well, I should say tied with Colorado, the next team we're going to discuss. And yeah, both of us, I think, are in agreement that San Jose will make the playoffs, as they always do. But do you think this is the year maybe they do win a cup?
No.
You still say no?
I think that curse is going to be an everlasting type thing. I compare it to a Vancouver Canucks curse. I know you hate me for saying that, but
they're very similar teams in that respect.
They've gone years without it, and it just never seems to work out. And I don't know that it will in the near future. San Jose is has more talent than they did last year. They've been building. They have a better roster, but I just don't see them being able to contend in 7-game series with the powerhouses in the West. I don't even see them making it to the Stanley Cup final.
Really? Okay, well, it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. Part of me agrees with you, but part of me thinks, based on the youth movement that they now have, and with Couture coming into his own this year, you might see them go a little bit further than before, but I'm not necessarily going to pick them as the cup winner. But I say there is an outside chance they do make it to the finals this year, if they continue playing the way they do. On to the second team, surprising everybody right now, the Colorado Avalanche are 5-0-0, the best start in the history of the franchise.
Bodes well for Patrick Waugh and the rest of the new front office, just because it takes a lot of pressure off you. Now you have the ability to go on a losing streak and not get too grilled, and that's a huge benefit because Colorado is still very young, still very susceptible to those ruts. So I believe that they're in a good place right now to get themselves ahead of the game for making the playoffs, because it's going to be a tough season for this roster.
It is, and I mean, I think a lot of it is now, as we've discussed in previous years. Their young guys are sort of, when will they all finally make that next step, kind of like how the Islanders did last year. I think this is the year you are seeing them make that next step, that step which the Edmonton Oilers still have yet to make, and which the Islanders made in the previous season. You got guys like Duchesne just playing out of this world right now.
Unbelievable goal the other night, that dirty dangle, does a little toe drag, brings it to the inside, underneath the defenseman's stick, outside, inside again, and then top corner. How you make that many moves in that little space is unreal.
And how about that empty netter against the Bruins? You don't normally talk about empty netters, but there was 2 Bruins in front of him racing for the puck, and he beats them both out and scores that empty netter.
Oh, and he's behind them by 5-6 feet, just turns on the gas and flies.
And one of them's Bergeron too, who's a pretty good skater to begin with, so he was really caught flat-footed there, and Duchesne just took it to an extra gear. He looked like the Roadrunner. It was really cool to see. I mean, it's probably one of the best empty net goals I've ever seen, just based on the effort that he put in. But yeah, Duchesne's having...
I want to actually digress off for a second, just because we're not going to hit Eastern teams anymore, but there was a classy play on an empty net goal too. In the East of Montreal, Daniel Briere had the whole net, and Pacioretty had been on a slump. He hadn't scored a goal in 3 games yet, and he's supposed to be our top scorer, and Daniel Briere just tosses it over to Patch to give him an empty net goal. So
nice.
So you get
see
the crazy hard ones, and then you get the ones where it's it's not all about the points, it's about helping out your team. So I like that play. But just a side note.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Pacioretty, you think he hasn't been playing so well. So, I mean, against the Canucks, he looked great, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought he looked really, really good against us, but everyone looked good against us that game.
Kind of like Higgins. I mean, hasn't been able to buy a goal. Higgins has something like 21 shots. And he just can't buy one. So Pacioretty, a little bit of the same curse, but...
it happens to everyone. I mean, Booth went through something similar last year, and he's kind of going through it again. So it happens to players. But, going back to Colorado, I got to say, besides Duchesne, you got Landeskog playing incredibly well. He's really... he is not having a sophomore slump. He's looking great. And then you got the rookie, who I'm so glad I picked in my pool.
No kidding.
Nathan McKinnon is just tearing it. He looks like He looks like he's been in the league for 5 years already. This kid does not look like a rookie. He plays with such poise, such patience. He's probably, I wouldn't say the most skilled rookie that I've seen come into the NHL ever, but I would say the most ready rookie. Like, he looks like he has been playing in this league for years. He does not look like an NHL rookie. He looks terrific.